A political prisoner is someone who understands what it means to have power and who understands that power dictates the control of a people's destiny, and every people has a right to be self-determination, to determined. And so, the individuals who are political prisoners, they have a certain consciousness about what's going on in the world and society, and they understand that it's not enough to know what's going on. You have to actually do something about it. So with them understanding that, they take a position that's in the interest of their people, and they decide that they are going to organize. They're going to take some serious action around liberating their people because they identify their people as being oppressed people. So a political prisoner is a person who's currently incarcerated because of their political views and actions. He'll officially be released December 16th. What it means is that you can produce results that you want. You have to be involved long term. You have to get involved until your objective is met. And speaking on Mutulu, I just like to read something that really needs to be read. And people need to understand the viciousness of the state and the terms in which they want to release someone. So it's not really about correcting somebody. It's really about taking their vengeance out on somebody. So this is what was a letter filed by Assistant U.S. Attorney Cheryl Morgan. She said, "We now find your medical condition renders you so infirm of mind and body that you are no longer physically capable of committing any federal, state, or local crime." So if this brother has been incarcerated for almost 40 years, and how long does it take to so-called correct somebody? If it was about justice, then you would focus on that and not wait till you squeeze as much life as out of somebody that's possible. So that's very disturbing to me, and I think that people need to really internalize what was said and the reason or the conditions in which somebody's released on compassionate release. I got involved in this work because one of the founders of the December 12th movement, Coltrane Shimarenga, had gave me an assignment to work with a former political prisoner by the name of Sekou Odinga. Me and a couple of my brothers were given this assignment to work with Sekou Odinga, who had founded the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition. And when he founded that, he decided that he know what it is to be a political prisoner, and he wanted others to be able to come home as he was able to come home because of the efforts of people. And that's why I got involved, because it was an assignment, but that assignment was supposed to be temporarily. But as I became conscious of it and I would write political prisoners, then I understand the importance of it. So I continue to get remain involved on at to this very day. The response has been, people are not aware of political prisoners, and people are shocked, and people want to know more about it, and some people want to know what they can do, or they say they're gonna look into it as far as writing to a political prisoner, because that's one of the things that I try to encourage people to do is write to a political prisoner so they could build their own personal relationship with a political prisoner. If you go back to when they had the COINTELPRO and during the time of the Black Panther Party, COINTELPRO, for those who don't know, is a counterintelligence program. It was directed by or orchestrated by J. Edgar Hoover, Federal Bureau of Investigations, and it was targeted to progressive or black organizations and some so-called Spanish or Latin American organizations, and who were for moving their people forward. And what they wanted to do with this program is infiltrate these organizations and prevent them from moving forward and carrying out their agenda. And their agenda was to make sure that people are self-determined, that they dictate what goes on in their community, and it's under their control. So the FBI decided that that is in opposition to the way that they want the system to operate, and so they came up with this program and infiltrated these organizations. They caused division, Some people were killed, and they brought up some charges that were questionable, and but these charges led to convictions, and those convictions led to lengthy sentences. One brother who's currently incarcerated, Kamal Siddiqui, he was given a deal to work with the government so that they would be able to bring the mother of his child, Suga Ray Shakur, back from Cuba. And he declined, and because he declined, he got a lengthy sentence. That was one example of how they actually bring up some charges, because in his situation there was some questionable witnesses or testimonies by some people who had ulterior motives, and their statements against him led to these conviction and these lengthy sentences, or this lengthy sentence he has. Well, when you're looking at a political prisoner, you're looking at that's something that can always happen, and it's still happening. And if you go back as far as the first African who was kidnapped and brought here, and when that African decided, no, I'm not going to do what you wanted me to do, then that African was whipped. And if that African resisted enough time, then that African was maybe put away against their will. And if in some cases, you have that African being killed. So that was the one political prisoner at one particular time. So if you monitor that timeline, then you say, okay, these people are resisting. They are trying to change the regular way that we do things, and therefore they're a threat. And we can't have this idea carry on to others. We don't want others to get inspired. Therefore, we have to incarcerate or restrict mobility of this individual, or these group of individuals. So a political prisoner is always possible at any given time, depending on because of the arrangement of things. You just have to think about what you're doing. You have to surround yourself with people who have the same intention. You have to make sure that you are in consistent communication with people who share the same interests, and you have to have a lot of love for the people, and love for the people that you're dealing with. And once you build up this strong camaraderie, this strong expression of love, then you could start understanding the left that you and these individuals go to protect what you are doing. And I think in doing that, having this bond, then you can secure yourself, your organization, from being political prisoners. But it's a challenge, right? Because you don't know what the system is going to do at any given time, because they make up the laws and they enforce the laws. So we have to be empowered to really, really eliminate us being political prisoners. You have to change this entire system, and we need to be empowered. That's the way to uh, make sure it's eliminated completely. That's a good question, because one of our elected officials, brother Charles Barron, he visited Jalil Abdul Muttaqin when Jalil Abdul Muttaqin was incarcerated, and he's a former, talking about Charles Barron, he's a former Black Panther, so he understands what it is to stand for a cause and deal with the consequences of standing for that cause. So he's very compassionate when it comes to political prisoners, and he does his job, whether it's writing on them or visiting them. Those elected officials, they need to investigate these cases and do their part. And they have ties to the community, and encourage the community to follow suit. Or you can hit me on Sefusankofa at Gmail, Sefusankofa at gmail.com. Also, we have a YouTube channel, NEPPC, on the YouTube channel. Subscribe, share, That's a way you can help us get the word out to more people as we increase the subscription. Then we could have an opportunity to have more resources and write to a political prisoner, build up that relationship, and whatever you do in the community, do it in the spirit of political prisoners. Like one of the things that I used to do at Queensbridge, I haven't done it in a while, but give out some free clothes in the spirit of political prisoners. Then you let the people know that this person is giving it these clothes out in the spirit of what? Like they'll raise that question. Now you say in the spirit of political prisoners, those who made sacrifices, those who understand the need and the responsibility you have to serve the people. And when you do that, then you start having this dialogue and you leave people with the idea of like, wow, that's impressive. Somebody did something that was bigger than themselves. Somebody did something that was extremely unselfish. These few words: don't let political prisoners die in prison. I mean, free them all. You know, I want people to internalize that idea. Don't let political prisoners die in prison. You have people of faith, right? I read a book by James Cone. It was dealing with black liberation and theology, right? And that's those ideas is one and the same, right? If you profess to believe in a higher power, supreme being, then you know the importance of standing up for justice. So if you're a person of faith, whether it's Judaism, Christianity, or Islam, then you have a duty to stand up for what's correct, for what's just. And if you know that somebody's incarcerated because of their views, because of their fight for justice, then you'll stand with them. You'll stand for their release immediately. And you have the power to do that. You're a taxpayer. They use your tax dollars to build these so-called correctional facilities. And if you want to go to go to your holy books and look at the prophets and what they stood for and the fact that they were persecuted because of their views, then you know those were political prisoners. And you didn't like it then and you shouldn't like it now. So, you know, take a position. Either be a part of the problem or part of the solution. I would say that black power to you first and foremost. Black power is synonymous with black love, and love is the motivational force to for you to do what you have done regarding your stance on what's right and the sacrifices that you made and the consequences that came with your sacrifice is truly appreciative. And what I do and will continue to do is let you know that I will express respect through my work. It's my practice that really counts for what I really feel about you. Because anybody can say anything about respecting somebody, but it's another thing to actually do something. So me, I'm having a podcast every Wednesday for half an hour. Me talking to others about political prisoners. Me wearing this shirt and having people look at it. And when people really have a real serious interest in the shirt and want to initiate dialogue, then I give them a flyer. I give them information. Make sure that I post these posters up so people could be aware of political prisoners. So I would let them know that people like myself and there's others are out here doing the work to bring you home. And truly sorry for it taking so long, but it's a process.